Dear greetings, I am Keshavardhini from 1st MSc Microbiology, Sacred Heart College, Tirupattur. Now I am present about coral reef ecosystem. Introduction. It is present in the underwater ecosystem characterized by reef-filled corals. This is indicate a diverse collection of species that interact with each other and the physical environment. Coral reef are the colonies of tiny living creatures that are found in oceans. They are present in underwater structure that form coral polyps that are together by to form a calcium carbonate. It is also considered as a tropical rainforest of a sea and occupy just 0.1% of the ocean surface, but this is a home to 25% of the marine species. It is usually present in shallow areas at a depth less than 150 feet and to a deep 450 feet. What is coral reef? It is one of the most biologically diverse ecosystem on earth, only in tropical rainforests. It is usually made up of hard and soft corals, but also sponges, crustaceans, mollusks, fish, sea turtles, sharks, dolphins and much more are present. This is a picture that animal found in underwater areas. Animals commonly found in and around that include soft corals, hard corals, fire corals, anemones, hundreds of different species of sponges, conchs, clams, sea slugs, cowries, fireworms, Christmas tree worms, fanworms, crabs, lobster, shrimps, urchins, starfish, basket straws, sea cucumbers, thousands of different species of fish, sea turtles and sea snakes. Environmental condition necessary for a healthy coral reef. First one is abundant sunlight. Reef-filled corals cannot survive without sunlight since zooxanthellae, the symbiotic algae, require sunlight for photosynthesis. The majority of zooxanthellae reef-filled corals do not grow below 45 meter. Warm temperature. Corals can only live within a narrow temperature range from around 16 degrees Celsius to 29 degrees Celsius. This explains why corals thrive in a warmer water of the tropics. Next one is low nutrients level. Corals are adapted to live in ocean water which contain very low level of nutrients. Nutrients which are needed by all the living organisms are found in food and dissolved in water. Many nutrients can upset the natural balance of life on the reef, creating conditions that favor other fast-growing organisms such as marine plants, sponges. Clear sediment-free water. Coral prefer clear water with low levels of sediments. Sediments can bury corals, blocking out needed sunlight and killing them. Corals tend to live in areas with some wave action as they help support them with food and as oxygen as well as keeping coral free of sediment. Salty water. Corals are marine animals adapted to live in seawater with a salinity of around 35 parts per thousand. In areas that are too salty or not salty enough, corals cannot survive. And also corals need hard substrate, need a hard substrate or surface to attach to it and cannot successfully colonize in loose substrate such as rubber or sand. Types of coral reef. First one is fringing reef. It grows near the coastline around islands and continents. Barrier reef. It also parallel the coastline but are separated by deep, wider lagoons. Atolls. It is a ring of coral that create protected lagoons and usually located in the middle of the sea. Bank or platform reef. It is a reef that form away from the coastline. Last one is patch reef. It is a small areas of reef that is shallow water and in lagoons. This is the picture the type of reef present. It first, this is a fringing reef that close or connected to the shore. In center, this is a barrier reef, offshore reef that are separated from the land by an expanse of water such as lagoon. At the last, that is atolls, circular or oval reef surrounding by a lagoons without any central or moss in the lagoons. Beneficial of microbe in corals. Antimicrobial compounds produced by corals probably function in controlling the associated microbiota. For example, the antimicrobial peptide domiconin was the most active against a fungus and some gram-positive bacteria and had no effect on the four tested vibrios. Organic extract of the coral Sideresia siderea showed selective antimicrobial activity against 2 of 4 strains of gram-positive bacteria isolated from coral surfaces. Antibiotic activity against 9 strains of marine bacteria include known coral pathogens and bacteria related to those from coral surfaces was found in crude aqueous extract of 3 common Hawaiian corals, Montipora capitata, Porites lavota and Basilophora mendrina. Extract of capitata displayed the most antimicrobial activity, which might to be related to the presence of mantiboric acids A and B, which are cytotoxic and antimicrobial polyacetylene carboxylic acids found in Mantipora species. Otherwise, the chemical structure of antimicrobial compounds in corals are not known. Exposure of corals to pathogens also induce production of enzymes with predicted defense functions such as phenol oxidase, peroxidases and chitinases, as well as melanin, which is end product of phenol oxidase. Genome mining project identified a number of homologues of the genes with predicted functions in chemical defense, product of which are probably involved in the interaction with microbes. Growth forms of corals. Scientists currently estimate that there are 794 species of reef building corals throughout the world. Identifying coral species can be surprisingly difficult even for experts, and in some cases impossible without taking a sample to a laboratory for testing. A simple way to categorize corals is based on their different shapes. Corals can be classified into 10 general growth forms. First one is branches coral. Normally it is a numerous branches with secondary branches. Second one is helicon. It is large, sturdy and flattened branches. Third one is digitate. It look like a finger or clumps of figures with no secondary branches. Then fourth one is encrusting branches. Grow as a thin layer against a hard rocky surfaces. Then fifth one is stable coral. It is a broad horizontal surface with fused branches. Sixth one is foliage coral. It is a plate-like portions rising above the substrate similar to the petals of the rose. Seventh one is massive. Ball-shaped or boulder-like and can be as small as an egg or as large as a house. Submassive coral. It look like a knob, columns or wedges protruding from an encrusting base. Last one is flower cup-like corals. It look like a flower or like egg cups that have been squashed, elongated and twisted shaped. Factors affecting coral reef. First one is extreme climate condition. Sometimes high temperature of water leads to the declination of these corals as they cannot survive in high temperature. Second one is overfishing. It is another major concern as it is leading to the ecological imbalance of the coral reef. Coastal development. Development of coastal infrastructure or tourist resorts and close by this coral reef causes significant damages. Pollution. The toxic pollutants which are dumped directly in the oceans can lead to the poisoning of the coral reef as it increases the nitrogen level of the seawater leading an overgrowth of algae. Sedimentation. Construction algae of coast and islands leads to soil erosion, increasing the sediments in a river. As a result, it can smother corals by depriving them of the light needed to survive. Applications of coral reef. Coral reef play an important role in the following ways. They protect coastlines from damaging effects of wave action and tropical storms. They provide habitat and shelter for many marine organisms. They are also source of nitrogen and other essential nutrients for marine food chain. They also assist in carbon and nitrogen fixing areas. They help with the nutrients recycling. Thank you.